Hi, Pumas. Okay, so let's talk about quadrilaterals and their subcategories. So we know that a quadrilateral is a polygon, so it has to be closed, flat, straight lines. But it's a polygon that's closed, flat, straight lines, and has 4 sides. And underneath quadrilaterals, we have subcategories for quadrilaterals. So we can have a type of quadrilateral as a parallelogram, a rhombus, a rectangle, a square, a kite, or a trapezoid. And what makes up those subcategories are the properties, or we were using the word attributes. So attributes are things like the length of the sides, the types of angles, and the types of lines. So let's look at a parallelogram. What makes it a parallelogram? Well, the opposite sides are equal. So this side is the same as that side, equal. This side is the same as that side. And the opposites, and they're parallel. So if I were to extend out the lines, their lines would never touch. Same with on this side. They never touch. They just keep on going. Another thing about a parallelogram, this is a bonus thing. You don't need to know this in 3rd grade, but the opposite angles are equal. So this angle right here is the same as that angle. This angle is the same as that angle. So that's what makes up a parallelogram. A rhombus. Opposite sides are parallel. So this side, the opposite side is that side. So that means the lines never touch. Yep. Same with this one. Opposite, yep, they never touch. But what makes a rhombus different from a parallelogram is that all sides have to be equal. So with a parallelogram, it doesn't have to all be equal. Like these two are equal, but these two are different. Where if you want to call it a rhombus, it's the same thing as a parallelogram, but this is the same as this, is the same as this, is the same as this. A rectangle. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. Okay, so parallel, that means the lines never touch. Yep, but they're the same length. They're equal. Same with the other one. Parallel and equal. And what makes a rectangle special is that each angle is a right angle. So remember, a right angle means it's 90 degrees. I could fit a perfect square in there. So there are 4 right angles. Well, what about a square? Well, a square is the same thing as a rectangle, right? Its opposite sides are parallel. They never touch if I were to keep going. Same with the opposite side, never touch. It's got 4 right angles. Each angle is a right angle, just like a square. But what makes it different is that all sides must be equal. Whereas a rectangle, you have some that are different. So same. A kite has 2 pairs of consecutive sides. So a kite is a bonus one that you don't need to know in 3rd grade, but it is a type of quadrilateral. So 2 pairs of consecutive sides. That means the sides are touching. Those 2 are the same, and these 2 are the same. And then a trapezoid. Only 1 pair of sides are parallel. So let's actually zoom in on the trapezoid. So if I were to zoom in on the trapezoid, I can see that these 2 are opposite and these 2 are opposite right here. And if I were to keep going and if I were to make this straight, they would never touch. They're parallel. And let's see if I were to keep going and following the trajectory of the trapezoid, that part wouldn't touch. But if I kept going up here, it's hard to see, but like right off camera, right there, they intersect, which means they are not parallel. So a trapezoid can only have 1 pair of opposite sides that are parallel. So underneath all of these, or within all of these quadrilaterals, we have these attributes that make up these quadrilaterals, and they're broken down into subcategories. But you can have these shapes. They can be in more than one category. So let's look at that. So all of these shapes are polygons. A polygon is a flat, closed, and straight line. So I could make this crazy thing. That's a polygon. I could make that. That's a polygon. I can make that. That's a polygon. This one technically isn't because I didn't have it closed. Oops. Okay. But underneath that, we have quadrilaterals. It's the same thing. It has to be flat, closed, and straight lines, but it has to have 4 sides. So that's a quadrilateral. that's a quadrilateral, that's a quadrilateral. But underneath quadrilaterals, we're starting to get into our subcategories. So a quadrilateral could be a trapezoid. So a trapezoid has to have one pair of parallel sides. So let's see. This is parallel to that, like it's straight. Again, these ones are not because these would touch. So they would intersect. So it has to have one pair of parallel sides. I can draw another type of trapezoid. Right there. Where are my parallel sides? Right here and right here. Another type or a subcategory of quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So I have to have two pairs of parallel lines, and two pairs of equal lengths. So let's see. I could do this because I have parallel, that's one pair. Parallel, that's two pairs. And I have to have two pairs that are of equal lengths. Well, this is equal to this, and this is equal to that. So there's 1 and 2. Or it could be like this. I could have it be like that. I've got parallel, 1. There's parallel, that's one pair. 2. So I have two pairs of parallel lines. And they have to be two pairs of equal lengths. Well, this is equal to that. That's one pair. And this is equal to that. That's two pairs. Or it could be, there are so many different ones. A parallelogram, I could have it be looking like this. And let's see if this works. So two pairs of parallel lines. One pair, they're parallel. Two pairs, they're parallel. They would never touch. Two pairs of equal lengths. Well, yeah, this is equal to that, and this side is equal to that. That works. I mean, there's so many different options I could have there. Underneath parallelogram, we can get more specific, and we can have a rhombus. So something that's a rhombus still has to have two pairs of parallel lines, but it has to have four equal sides. So a rhombus has to, it can either be this, or it can be something that looks like, trying my best here. Oh, that's a little bit sloppy. Whoops. They have to be equal. Okay, so let's see if this works. Two pairs of parallel lines. There's one pair. There's one pair. There's two pair. There's two pair. Yes, check. Four equal sides. This is the same as this, is the same as this, is the same as this. This is the same as this, is the same as this, is the same as this. So this shape that I drew up here could not be a rhombus because it has one pair that's one length, and then the second pair is a different length. So this shape could not go there under rhombus, but it is a parallelogram. So a rectangle has two pairs of parallel lines, two pairs of equal lengths, but four right angles. Okay, so it could look like this or like this. So let's see. Two pairs of parallel lines, one pair, two pair, check. Two pairs of equal lengths, let's see. Well, this is equal to that. This is equal to that. That's one. And then this is equal to that. This is equal to that. That's two pairs of equal lengths, and four right angles. So I could fit a perfect square. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those shapes are rectangles. This up here that I'm going to circle in blue could not, even though it's a parallelogram, could not be under here under rectangle because it could not fit. Even though it's got two pairs of parallel lines, two pairs of equal lengths, it does not have four right angles, so it cannot belong there. And then a square. For it to be called a square, it has to have two pairs of parallel lines, four equal sides, and four right angles. So a square could only be like that. So let's see. One pair of parallel lines, two pairs of parallel lines, four equal sides. This is equal to that, is equal to that, is equal to that. And I can put four right angles. Wow, so the most diverse shape that we have here is kind of our square, because a square can be also called a rectangle, and a square can also be called a rhombus, and a square can also be called a parallelogram, and a square can also be called a quadrilateral, and a square can also be called a polygon. A rectangle can only be a rectangle, a parallelogram, a quadrilateral, and a polygon. A rhombus can only be a rhombus, a parallelogram, a quadrilateral, and a polygon. A parallelogram can only be a quadrilateral and a polygon. A quadrilateral can only be a polygon. And trapezoid can only be a quadrilateral and a polygon. So it's just different names for different things. So it's kind of like the video that I showed you earlier about how we can just have different names based on different attributes.